Hello, welcome to whatever the hell this is. I'm Justin Ham, also known as Tyrone Swift 05 on, you know, the Xbox and all that stuff. Um, I make created wrestlers. Sometimes they do okay. But what I'm here to do today is I keep meaning to make tutorial videos, sort of. I don't know if they're gonna help anybody, but I just want to show stuff that I get asked how I do a lot of stuff, and I try my best to explain it whenever anybody asks and shows genuine interest, but it's tough to actually do it without showing it sometimes. So I just want to show one of I would consider this an intermediate level trick. Something I used to do all the time. I still do it. As we can see here, this is a character I'm working on. I have a name for them, but I've refused to say it for what, I don't know why I'm being mysterious about it. But anyway, I'm going to show off a thing that's really easy to do with just basic stuff that's in the game. So let's start. So this is the Iconics attire, the old, I want to say, I can't remember what her name is, but obviously Iconics right there. I've always liked this one. Now the problem with it is the tights are always white, as you can see there. Now you can kind of see where I'm going here. I've kind of colored them, sort of, and I want to show how I do that, because this applies to a lot of stuff in the game. So you go to designs here, and basically the big thing is these basic images right here are your best friend in character creation. Just 100%. They go so far. I'll put it like this. This triangle's fairly new. I think they added it a couple years ago, and when they added it, I was like, oh my god, thank god. It was such a big deal for me. So let now show what we do here. Oh, my dumbass. I forgot to do something. But that's okay. So basically, if you want to kind of cover up what the tights area here and make it a different color, what you want to do is get your basic shape, usually a circle, or not a circle. You want the oval. Reason being, the oval will is you can angle it, and the circle not so much. So now this is a little tricky sometimes, and every one of these is different. So we're fair warning to everybody, we're gonna get a lot of awkward camera angles. It's just the nature of the beast sometimes. Then you're gonna want to switch the sizes, switch the angles, switch everything you can until you get it right about like that. Now see how that's going right along the edge like that? Cool. Now the thing I forgot to do, because of course I forgot to do something, is get the color. But that's okay, since I'm just showing it off. Actually, it might help if we make it black. Then we can kind of see where we're at, see? Alright, so not quite where I want that, but that's okay. Let's move it slightly to the right there, and up a fuzz. And I hate how touchy. Ever since an update or two ago, all the image placement got really, really touchy, so you kind of got to lightly tap on the stick. Hopefully that gets resolved at some point. Now that's a lot better. So then, from here you can make that a different material. You can make it, do whatever you want. But that's going to cover up that part. And all I did was I switched the mapping, I moved it down, and did all that stuff. So let's do it again. Before we do, let's go get the color that I was using here. Generally for tight stuff, you're going to want something close to the skin color. I already had this one made. If you ever need your color from some other previous thing, just go to it and then press start and it'll save it. Crazy how that works. And then we can go back to our old image, go here. Look, we've cut that off. Now, you don't always, whoops, I'm gonna misclick a lot because I do that. You don't always need to do the alternate mapping. Sometimes it actually helps to use the other thing. So now we're going to use this guy, and this guy's your other best friend right here. Image placement. All right, now we're going to get a little awkward, and that's okay. It's worth it in the end. Sometimes the best way to do it is to get it lined up above it and then kind of go down from there. Sometimes it's not. They like to jump around, the images do, so you just kind of gotta mess with it a little bit. It's kind of a pain sometimes, but like I said, that looks pretty good to me. And this one that I'm using, I'm doing it for a reason. A, I'm gonna use it on her. I really love the way it looks. B, it's a little bit easier on this one. Some of these are really tricky. Some of them have like little weird curves and stuff that you have to go around and do a lot of stuff. Some of them are gonna take more than 3 images just to fit it all right. It's just kind of the nature of the beast. Like I said, from here, if you wanted to, you can change the material, and this sort of will bail you out of a lot of stuff too. Like if I wanted this to be cloth or leather or something like that, I could do that, but I don't want it to do that. I just want the default. So we will go here and notice how that all blends together. Perfect. And then we'll do the back. As soon as I remember how to do that. Add another one. Probably now you basically you're kind of just in your mind going over what kind of shape that looks like. So to me that looks like it's going to be like a rounded line. You're going by the lines for the most part. And you can use this trick to do a lot of different things too, not just this, which I will also show as soon as we get this done. Go down here. This one we're probably not going to want to switch the mapping, although sometimes you want to switch the mapping. And sometimes I'm wrong. Sometimes it's not a circle or anything like that. Like I said, one of the easiest ways to do it is to get it lined up on the outside and then kind of go down just like that. And sometimes you got to switch your angles up, make it a little bigger. It's okay if you get a little stretching on it. Like, see how that stretches on the end of the image? It's all right. You're gonna go over it anyway. And while I don't think this is exactly perfect, I don't know. It looks pretty all right. That looks pretty good. Let's go with that. Might be a little off. I might have to adjust it later. I'm gonna go through it kind of quickly here. Yeah. So as you can see, we kind of hid the white for the most part. There's a little hint of it, but I'm gonna be picky. I can't help myself. I apologize in advance. This part of being anywhere decent at this is just being patient and messing with stuff. Just constantly messing with stuff. Like I said, if it overlaps a little bit on something, that's okay. As long as it hides what you wanna hide. You're never gonna notice that in the game itself most of the time. It'll be fine. Now, the way to wrap this up ultimately is, not click what I just clicked. That's what. Let's add another image. We'll do a couple different things with this one image here. So, I'm gonna show the process. I call this zeroing out an attire, but I just make up my own terms because there's no real official guidebook out there for any of this stuff. So what you could do, like let's say you had this attire, but I didn't want all this stuff up here, like all the studs and all that stuff, and I just wanted it to be plain, right? So you just take your big rectangle, change the material, change it to cloth, emboss it by like 1. Now it looks pretty regular. Every now and then you'll get a little seam like that, but that's usually fine. Then you can change the color of it. And look, now it's all red or whatever. Whatever you want to do. There's a lot of different stuff. You can use this to change the color of the belts and do all this stuff. You can make a belt. Here, we'll show that. Why not? Let's make it excuse me. Let's make it a little bit smaller. Let's go around the back here. Now see, we can just trace right along that belt like that. And you can do this on just about any attire you want to. It will work. So, do that. Add a new image. And I'm just going to go through it, like I said, really quick here. Image placement. Sometimes you want to switch the mapping, sometimes you don't. Like I said, all depends on the attire and the curves of it. It's always changing, it's always morphing. You just kind of got to mess with stuff. Some things this will work on flawlessly. Some things it will not work on almost at all. Now, actually, if we had a different curve, this would work great, but it's probably not going to be perfect. We would actually probably need 2 rectangles to go like kind of from the back here down into the front to kind of make that actual like V curve. But we're not going to do all that. What we are going to do, keep doing different stuff. It's weird. Designs. I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, I do, but let's go here. Let's change this image placement. Now, the other thing, forgot to put the final touch on this here, but that's okay. You can go down to the legs and just do like that. And to do the whole zeroing out thing, you're going to basically do what I'm going to do on these legs right here and just make another rectangle that goes across and do it that way. And it'll work. Like I said, and then we're going to put our color on it. Just that. And look, now the leg is filled in for the most part. And that's basically it. You can use basic images just to hide so much stuff in this game. I'm just going to leave it like this for now. Let's just to show like some other uses of this little trick I'm showing. Now, I know somebody out there is like, this is so dumb. Why would anybody need to do this? Or yeah, dude, I know. But you'd be shocked at how many people I've seen not do this and not know what I'm talking about. So I really just kind of feel like I'm trying to help somebody. Somebody wants to get better out there, and this is like the most important trick. Like, let's say I wanted to use this, for example, this Rhea Ripley attire, which I have used actually already. But I wanted to get rid of, but I don't want it to look like it's Rhea Ripley's, right? So I'd just take this basic image here. I'm not going to do it perfect. Like I said, a lot of it is just tweaking until you get it perfect. And suddenly that disappears. If you really want to hide it, you make it a different material. Like, probably leather, right? I mean, that seems leather. Now, you can also emboss it, but sometimes that will get rid of, like, it'll make it kind of, like, shiny like that. But sometimes, and let's see if this is one of them, it changes from attire to attire, so just keep that in mind. Yeah, see, it kind of still shows up like that if you emboss it. Sometimes it works really good, sometimes it doesn't. Just depends. You just kind of got to mess around with it. But that's really it. That's kind of the trick. It's all about just adding these little basic images. The reason how I learned how to do this is I didn't have the internet for a long time, so I couldn't upload my own stuff, and I didn't really know how to photo edit or any of that stuff. I kind of learned from playing this game, so I was just like, well, I could make my own logos by doing this stuff. And then I was like, oh, it'd be cool if I could use this, but I can't use, I don't have the proper stuff to hide all this stuff. And then it just was like, oh, what if I took these circles and just put it over them? One fun trick that's being shown off on accident is what I like to call mirroring. Again, no guidebook on any of this stuff. So, like, let's say I wanted to change the color of all these studs, but I didn't have a good way to do it. Well, just make a really small little circle like this and go over it. Does that work on everything? No. Sometimes it's kind of, this is kind of a phenomenon thing when it happens. But then you can go to material, you can make it metallic, you can then change the color of it to, like, I don't know, like, with just that skin color will make it gold. Now, obviously, I'd sit here a little bit more and actually get it to cover the entire thing, but this happens on a few things, and when it happens, I usually get giddy because usually you can do a lot with the mirroring trick. Like I said, it doesn't work with everything. Sometimes it's actually a hindrance, but it just depends. But anyway, that's kind of the tutorial. Yeah, we're just gonna revert everything here because I don't need any of this stuff. But yeah, that's it. Pretty much. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time, I guess. Appreciate it. I don't know how to end anything. Hope you learned something. Goodbye.